The 2019 legislative long session has been an extremely busy one for us here at NCRLA. Our government affairs team, led by Isabel Villa-Garcia, Margot Metzger, and Frank Gray, has been extremely busy. They've worked tirelessly on behalf of the industry. This session, in addition to playing defense on many issues that adversely impact the industry, we've had a unique opportunity to run offense on several key issues that we think will make a huge difference in advancing the hospitality industry across the state. The 2017 Food Code that was just recently adopted here in North Carolina provides a number of efficiencies for food service providers across North Carolina. We spent a considerable amount of time analyzing the Food Code, having our members to look through it and help us determine if, in fact, this was favorable for their businesses. And overwhelmingly, they said, yes, let's go for it. Let's push forward to try to adopt this 2017 code. That will become the new standard that local health departments use when they come in to inspect food service establishments across our state. And there are three elements in that code that we think are particularly attractive.
The 2019 code allows a restaurant to have a pre-approved plan to operate in the event of a natural disaster. Normally, if you lose your electricity, the health department says you can't operate. But if you have a pre-approved plan now, say you use propane to cook with and you have a generator to generate electricity, you can operate right after the disaster and able to serve people in your community.
The second thing that appeals to us about the 2017 Food Code is that it no longer requires hand washing between glove changes. That will create efficiencies in the kitchen and is better for our businesses. And then finally, a number of our members have struggled with HACCP plans, having HACCP plans reviewed by the State Health Department. The 2017 Food Code, and with its adoption, those will no longer be required. With the passage of the gaming bill, nonprofits and charities across North Carolina can now host casino nights. These are an important way of generating revenue for charities and nonprofits, and they're often held in restaurants and lodging accommodations across our state. With the passage of this casino night, restaurants and lodging accommodations can now host casino nights without fear of putting their alcohol license in jeopardy. One of the biggest challenges facing hospitality businesses today are workers to fill the many jobs that our industry is creating. The hospitality industry currently employs about 11% of our state's workforce, and the number of workers at all levels continues to grow year after year. So it's vitally important that we invest in training at the early stages to introduce students while they're in high school to the career opportunities that the hospitality industry provides. We do that through a program called ProStart, and for years NCRLA has invested in ProStart. We've raised funds to help support those classroom teachers, to provide resources to allow those students to be able to use commercial kitchens, to prepare food, and to travel where they need to travel to be able to compete and to be involved in advanced training. We raise a lot of money for that program through member donations and corporate donations. But this past year, we received an additional $200,000 from the General Assembly.
And we were also able to get $200,000 for 2019 and $200,000 for the 2020 year budget. So that was a huge win for NCRLA and for NCHEF. That gives us consistency in this funding in a more direct way so that we can better use those state funds.
We will receive the money up front and can invest that quickly to make an impact on the lives of students across North Carolina and to introduce those students not only to classroom training but also to a real live work environment in restaurants and food service establishments across our state. We are very proud of North Carolina's lodging community, and we welcome all players to our community. We've worked in partnership with vacation rentals, with beds, breakfast inns, as well as traditional lodging establishments. And we welcome to our community short-term rentals like Airbnb. But we do believe that they should operate under similar platforms to other lodging accommodations.
And while our members are competing every day very fiercely, and we have no problem with that, We think that the hotel industry is completely changing very rapidly, and so we want to ensure that even playing field.
Many communities across North Carolina have adopted regulations that help to ensure that short-term rentals operate in a manner that's consistent with other lodging accommodations. For example, they have to comply with zoning laws and local ordinances, permitting if that's required of other businesses, and we believe that that's just good business. This session, the General Assembly has begun to consider a preemption of local municipalities' ability to regulate short-term rentals, and we've been fighting that. In discussions with the legislature, we have been joining forces with the North Carolina League of Municipalities and the Urban Mayors Association to try to present the concept that a one-size-fits-all approach at the state level is not the best way to regulate short-term rentals. We do believe that by working together, probably through a study committee during the off session, that we will be able to come to some consensus to ensure that short-term rentals work to complement our overall lodging economy in North Carolina.
This year, we've seen multiple bills having been filed that would increase meals taxes around the state. So these bills would allow different municipalities across the state to increase their meals taxes or create a meals tax. We adamantly oppose any kind of meals taxes or increases to the 4 municipalities that currently have a meals tax. There are other ways and other mechanisms to raise needed funds. A meals tax negatively affects just one industry and a certain set of population, and we do not want to see these increase in North Carolina.
Earlier this year, the North Carolina Restaurant and Lodging Association unveiled a health care program that would have allowed our members to become a part of a group health insurance program through our association. It would have allowed our members to extend health care benefits to many employees across our industry at discounted rates. Unfortunately, we learned that the North Carolina statute does not allow a program of that nature to operate in our state, and that some changes were needed to North Carolina statutes to allow those to operate. We have worked alongside other associations across the state to address those challenges.